The spit landed near my shoe. I didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there in that church parking lot while Helen Warner looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her heel. "You've got some nerve," her voice carried. "People were watching. She wanted them to watch. Coming here after what you did." 4 women stood behind her. Same tight smiles. Same Sunday dresses. Same hatred in their eyes. My heart was pounding, but I kept my face blank. Years of practice. James Whitmore was a good man, the blonde one said. Patricia's sister. Had to be. Before you ruined his life. I looked at Helen. "I'm leaving. We're not done." "Yes, we are." I turned. Helen grabbed my arm. Her nails dug in through my sleeve. "Everyone knows what you are," she hissed. "Homewrecker." I pulled free. Walked toward my car. Behind me Helen's voice got louder. "You can't hide from it, this whole town knows." I kept walking. 1 foot. Then another. The way I'd been doing for 11 years. Let me stop right here. Before I tell you the rest. Before I explain how I became the woman everyone loves to hate. If you're watching this, I need something from you. Subscribe to this channel. Stay until the end. And comment what city you're watching from. I need to know how far this story travels. I need to know someone's listening. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't pretty. It's not going to make you feel good. But it's true. And truth is the only thing I own that nobody can take away. Now let me take you back. Sierra Leone, 2006. When I still believed in promises. The market stank of fish and exhaust. I'd been standing there since dawn. My feet hurt. My back hurt. Everything hurt. But I smiled at the customers because that's how you survive. "How much for this fabric?" 50,000 leones. "Too much. I'll do 40. We went back and forth. She bought it. I made almost nothing, but my mother needed medicine. My brothers needed school fees. Money was money. Then I saw her. American. Had to be. Nobody else wore suits like that in our market. She moved through the crowd like she owned the air she breathed. "Excuse me." Perfect English. "Do you speak English?" "Yes, ma'am." She smiled. "I'm looking for someone. Someone smart. Someone who wants more than this." My stomach flipped. Americans meant opportunity. Maybe. I run a program bringing young women to America. Good jobs. Hotels. Restaurants. 6 months and you'll have enough to bring your whole family over. My mother appeared beside me. "What does she want?" "Work. In America." Mama's hand clamped on my wrist. "No." But the woman was already showing photos. African girls in American cities. Smiling. Successful. "I'm Grace," she said. "Think about it." She pressed a card into my palm and walked away. Mama snatched it from me. "This is a trap. You don't know that. I know when something smells wrong. Everything here smells wrong." I hadn't meant to yell. "We're drowning, Mama. Papa's gone. We have nothing. What future do I have here?" She slapped me. "Not hard. But enough. Your future is with your family." That night I couldn't sleep. My sister Fatu whispered in the dark. "You're thinking about America. Go to sleep. If you go, you have to write me every day." "Promise." "I'm not going." But 2 days later I met Grace at a CAF. She had papers spread on the table. "This is the contract. 6 months minimum. We cover everything. Flight, visa, placement. You work off the costs, then everything you earn is yours." I tried to read it. The English was too complicated. "How much do I owe?" $45,000. My throat closed. "That's impossible. It's an investment. Most girls pay it off in a year." A man appeared. Tall. Dead eyes. "This her," he said to Grace. Like I wasn't sitting right there. "Victor, this is Amara." Victor looked me over. I felt naked. "She's young. 19. Perfect. Fine." When 3 days. They talked around me. About me. Like I was merchandise. I should have left. Should have run. But I thought about my brother's cough. My sister's dreams of nursing school. Mama working herself to death. I signed. The airport was hell. Mama held my face between her hands. "Remember who you are." "I will. If anything feels wrong, you run. You hear me, you run." "I promise." Fatu wrapped around me. "Every day." "You promised." "Every day." My brothers tried not to cry. Failed. They were so small. How could I leave them? But I did. I walked through security. Boarded the plane. Sat next to another girl who said her name was Esther. First time flying, yes. Me too. She was shaking. I'm scared. Don't be. We're going to make it. I said it like I believed it. JFK was chaos. Lights and crowds and everyone moving like they had somewhere important to be. Grace met us outside customs. Victor was with her. And a van. Welcome to America. Let's get you settled. 4 other girls were already in the van. All young. All African. All terrified. We drove for over an hour. Buildings got bigger, then smaller, then broken down. We stopped at an apartment complex that looked nothing like the photos. Temporary housing, Grace said. Until we place you. The apartment was tiny. 2 bedrooms for 7 of us. Bars on the windows. Passports, Victor said. What? My hand went to my bag. We hold your documents. For visa processing. But I need you. Don't need anything except to do what you're told. Grace's face had changed. Hard now. Cold. It's procedure, Amara. We can't have you losing important paperwork. One by one we handed them over. I felt like I was handing over my lungs. Victor opened a ledger. Your debt. Transportation, housing, visa fees, job placement. $45,000 each. You said we'd work it off, Esther said. You will. Minimum wage. We'll track your hours. Simple. A girl in the corner spoke up. What if we want to leave? Victor's laugh made my skin crawl. Leave and go where you're illegal. No money. No papers. You don't even know what city you're in. You want detention, deportation, go ahead. Try. The door closed. The lock clicked from outside. 7 women stood in that apartment and understood. We'd been sold. Esther started crying. Another girl joined her. I went to the window. Looked out at a country that had just swallowed us whole. We have to get out, Esther whispered that night. How? I don't know. But this isn't what they promised. Nothing ever is. 2 weeks in that apartment. Victor brought food. Not enough. Grace came once and told us to be grateful. A girl named Faith tried to run. Victor brought her back with a black eye and a warning. Next time it's worse. After that nobody tried. On day 15 Victor came for me. Get your stuff. You've been placed. Where? Connecticut. Rich family. You're lucky. I grabbed my bag. Said goodbye to Esther with my eyes because words wouldn't come. The drive took hours. Trees and highways and houses that got bigger and wider. Victor didn't talk. Finally he pulled up to a mansion. Actual mansion. White columns. Perfect lawn. The Morrisons. Husband, wife, 2 kids. You cook, clean, help with the children. Don't cause problems. A woman opened the door before we reached it. Blonde. Thin. Expensive everything. She looked at me like I was dirt. This is her. Yes, ma'am. Does she speak English? I speak English. My voice came out stronger than I felt. Good. Come in. The house was massive. Everything white and cold. A man came down the stairs. Tall. Gray hair. Suit on a Sunday. His eyes crawled over me. Robert, this is our new help. Welcome. His smile didn't reach his eyes. 2 kids appeared. A girl around 12 with her mother's mean face. A boy maybe 8 who looked less sure of himself. Ashley Connor, this is Amara. Stay out of her way. The woman Diane walked me through rooms I'd be cleaning. Kitchen, living room, bathrooms. Finally we went downstairs. Basement. Concrete and pipes and cold. A tiny room at the end. Twin bed. Small bathroom. This is yours. Wake at 5. Breakfast at 7. No disturbing the family after 9. Questions a million. But I said no, ma'am. Good. Victor explained your arrangement, your debt, yes. Then we understand each other. She started to leave. Stopped. Oh. The door locks at night. For security. And don't try leaving the property. We have cameras. The door clicked shut. I heard her footsteps fade. Heard voices above me. Heard my own breathing. I sat on the bed. Alone for the first time since Sierra Leone. But I didn't cry. Crying was a luxury I couldn't afford. Heavy footsteps on the stairs. The door opened. Robert filled the doorway. Just checking on you. I'm fine. Thank you. He stepped inside. The room shrank. My wife can be cold. Don't take it personally. I understand. You're very pretty. He moved closer. You know that my back hit the wall. Sir, I should relax. Just being friendly. His hand touched my shoulder. We'll take care of you. As long as you take care of us. Understand? I understood everything. I nodded. Good girl. He left. The door locked behind him. I stood there in my basement room in my locked house in my promised land and finally understood. This wasn't employment. This wasn't opportunity. This was ownership. And nobody, absolutely nobody, was coming to save me. The alarm didn't go off because there was no alarm. Amara's eyes opened at 4:45 every morning now. Her body had learned. She dressed in the dark. Climbed the basement stairs. The kitchen was silent. She started the coffee. Set out the cereal boxes. Cut fruit. Made toast. By 6:30 the smells filled the house. Diane appeared at 7 exactly. Never earlier. Never later. The toast is burnt. Amara looked at the perfectly golden bread. I'll make more. See that you do. Diane poured coffee without looking at her. And the bathroom upstairs needs cleaning. Ashley said there's hair in the sink. Yes, ma'am. Robert came down in a suit. His hand brushed Amara's hip as he passed. She flinched. He smiled. The children were last. Connor mumbled good morning. Ashley didn't acknowledge her at all. Amara, orange juice, Diane said. Of course. She poured 4 glasses. Set them on the table. Stood against the wall while they ate. That was the rule. Be present but invisible. I need you to pick up my dry cleaning today, Diane said. And stop at the grocery store. I'll leave a list. Yes, ma'am. How will you what get there? I don't have a car. Diane's laugh was sharp. You have legs, don't you? It's only 2 miles. 4 miles round trip. In Connecticut winter. Carrying groceries. Yes, ma'am. After breakfast, Amara cleared the table. Washed dishes. Wiped counters. Started laundry. Vacuumed. Dusted. Cleaned bathrooms. By noon her back screamed. The list Diane left had 30 items. Amara walked to town in the cold. No coat because she didn't own one. The grocery store manager watched her like she might steal something. The dry cleaner handed over Diane's clothes without speaking. On the walk back, bags cutting into her hands, a car slowed beside her. Asian woman. Older. Kind face. You need a ride? Amara's heart jumped. I'm okay. You're freezing. Come on. I can't. Thank you. The woman looked at her for a long moment. You work for the Morrisons? Yes. I'm Linda Chen. I live next door. She pulled over. Got out. Please. Let me help. Amara wanted to say yes so badly it hurt. But Robert's cameras. Diane's rules. I'm fine. Really. Linda touched her arm. If you ever need anything, I have to go. She walked faster. Heard Linda's car pull away. Wanted to scream. That night Robert came to her room again. This time he didn't ask. Amara lay there after staring at the ceiling. Her body didn't feel like hers anymore. She tried to remember her mother's face and couldn't. Tried to remember Fatu's voice and it was gone. She was disappearing. 3 months passed. Then 6. The debt didn't shrink. Diane showed her the ledger. You owe $48,000 now. But I've been working room and board. Food. Utilities. Medical insurance. It adds up. You're charging me for medical insurance I don't have. Diane's eyes went flat. Are you calling me a liar? Number. I just don't understand. Then stop asking questions and get back to work. That afternoon while cleaning Connor's room, Amara found a pen. She slipped it into her pocket. That night she tore a page from an old magazine. Wrote in tiny letters. Fatu, I'm trapped. I don't know where I am. I'm scared. Please help. But she had no envelope. No stamp. No address. She hid the letter under her mattress. It was the first thing she'd done for herself in months. Connor started leaving her things. A granola bar outside her door. A bottle of water. Once a pair of socks. Why are you doing this? She whispered when they passed in the hallway. Because they're mean to you. You'll get in trouble. I don't care. He was 10 years old and braver than she was. Year 2 was worse. Robert stopped pretending. Stopped being careful. He'd come down whenever he wanted. Amara stopped fighting. Fighting only made it hurt more. Diane knew. Had to know. Once she walked past the basement door while Robert was down there. Amara heard her footsteps pause. Then continue. The silence was louder than any scream. You're losing weight, Diane said one morning. You look terrible. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. Just fix it. I can't have you looking like some refugee around my guests. Yes, ma'am. But Diane had cut her food portions weeks ago. Said she was eating too much. Costing too much. Spring came. The Morrisons hosted a dinner party. Amara served drinks. Moved through the living room like a ghost. Where did you find her? A woman asked Diane. An agency. They bring them over, handle the paperwork. Is she legal? Diane laughed. Does it matter? She's not complaining. Another guest added, these girls are lucky to be here. Better than where they came from. Everyone agreed. Everyone laughed. Amara stood there holding a tray. Shaking. Something hot and sharp moved through her chest. Not fear this time. Rage. She wanted to throw the tray. Wanted to scream. Wanted to tell them all what their perfect suburb was built on. But she just refilled their glasses and went back to the kitchen. That night Robert came down drunk. You embarrassed me tonight. I didn't. Don't talk back. He grabbed her arm. You think you're special, you're nothing. You understand nothing. He shoved her. She fell. Hit her head on the bed frame. Get up. Her vision blurred. Blood trickled from her scalp. I said get up. Something inside her snapped. She looked at him. Really looked at him. Saw a weak man who needed to hurt people to feel strong. No. He froze. What did you say? Number. Her voice shook but held. I won't get up. His face went purple. He stepped toward her. She braced for the blow. Connor's voice cut through. Dad. Robert spun. Connor stood in the doorway. 12 now. Tall enough to see everything. Go to bed. What are you doing? I said go to bed. Connor looked at Amara. At the blood. At his father's face. Something shifted in his expression. I'm telling Mom. You'll do no such thing. I'm telling everyone. Robert's hand shot out. Grabbed Connor's arm. You mention this to anyone and I'll send her back to whatever hellhole she came from. You want that? Connor's eyes filled with tears. He shook his head. Good boy. Now get out. Connor ran. Robert turned back to Amara. But the moment had passed. He left without another word. Amara touched her head. Her hand came away bloody. She went to the tiny bathroom. Looked in the mirror. Didn't recognize the woman staring back. The next morning Diane called her upstairs. Robert says you fell. Yes. You need to be more careful. Yes, ma'am. He also says you've been difficult lately. Amara's throat closed. I haven't. Don't interrupt me. Diane stepped closer. You're here because we allow it. Because we're generous enough to give you a chance at life. The least you could do is show gratitude. I am grateful. Then act like it. Diane's voice dropped. Or we can call immigration. Tell them we have an illegal working in our home. See how that goes for you. Every word was a knife. Do we understand each other? Yes, ma'am. That afternoon while hanging laundry Amara saw Linda Chen in her garden. Linda waved. Amara's hand lifted automatically. Diane's voice cracked through the window. Amara inside now. Linda's smile faded. She looked confused. Worried. Amara rushed inside. Diane grabbed her wrist. You do not talk to the neighbors. I didn't say anything. You don't wave. You don't smile. You don't exist to them. Clear. But Linda had seen something. Amara could tell. The question was whether she'd do anything about it. That night Amara wrote another letter. Longer this time. Everything she'd been holding in. But the letter had nowhere to go. She added it to the first one under the mattress. Her secret rebellion. Connor left a book outside her door. Simple English. Children's level. But it was something. She read at night by the light from under the door. The words became an escape. Not from the basement. But from inside her own head. Summer came. The work got harder. The heat made the basement unbearable. Robert's visits increased. One morning Amara woke up and couldn't move. Her body just stopped working. She lay there staring at the ceiling. Amara. Diane's voice from upstairs. Breakfast. She didn't respond. Couldn't. Diane came down. What's wrong with you? I can't. Can't what? Any of it. I can't do it anymore. Diane's face went cold. Get up. No. Excuse me, I want my passport. I want to leave. Diane laughed. You can't leave. You owe us money. How much? $60,000. The number made Amara's stomach drop. That's impossible. I've been working for 2 years. Room, board, legal fees, medical, transportation, clothing, food. Should I continue? You're lying. Diane slapped her. hard enough that Amara's ears rang. Don't you ever call me a liar. Diane's voice was ice. You signed a contract. You'll work until your debt is paid. Or we'll have you arrested and deported. Your family back home will never know what happened to you. She left, locked the door from outside. Amara lay there for hours. Hungry, thirsty, hopeless. Around noon the lock clicked. Connor slipped in with a sandwich and water. Mom's upstairs. Hurry. Connor, you can't eat. She did. He sat on the floor watching her. Why don't you run away? Where would I go? The police. I'm illegal. They'd arrest me. That's not fair. No, it's not. He was quiet for a moment. I'm sorry. For my parents. For everything. It's not your fault. But I live here. I see it. That makes me part of it. He was 12 and understood more than most adults. You're a good person, Amara said. Don't let them change that. He left before Diane came back. The door locked again. But the sandwich had given her strength. The conversation had given her something more. Hope. That night Robert came down. But this time Amara was ready. When he reached for her she pushed. Hard. He stumbled. Hit his head on the doorframe. Blood. They both froze. Robert touched his forehead. Looked at the blood on his fingers. Then at her. You fucking bitch. Don't touch me. You have no idea what I can do to you. And you have no idea what I'll do to you. The words came from somewhere deep. Somewhere that had been quiet for too long. Touch me again and I'll scream. I'll tell everyone. Your wife. Your children. Your neighbors. Everyone. He stared at her. She stared back. For the first time in 2 years she wasn't afraid. Robert left without another word. Amara sank to the floor. Her hands shook. Her heart raced. But something had changed. She'd fought back. And she was still alive. The next morning Diane called her upstairs. Robert sat at the kitchen table. Bandage on his forehead. Robert says you attacked him. He attacked me first. He's been attacking me for 2 years. Diane's face went blank. That's a serious accusation. It's the truth. My husband would never touch someone like you. The words hung there. Someone like you. All the racism she'd swallowed for 2 years crystallized in that phrase. I want my passport. I want to leave. Robert spoke for the first time. You're not going anywhere. You still owe us money. How much? $60,000. That's impossible. Room and board aren't free. Legal fees. Medical insurance. It adds up. What medical insurance? You've never taken me to a doctor. Watch your tone, Diane snapped. I've been here 2 years. I've worked every day. How has the debt grown? Robert stood. Because that's how it works. You signed a contract. You're here until we say you can go. The truth crashed over her. The debt would never be paid. This would never end. They owned her. This is slavery. Diane's hand cracked across her face. Don't you dare. We gave you a chance. Fed you. Housed you. This is how you repay us. You've taken everything from me. We've given you everything. Diane's voice rose. You'd be nothing without us. Starving in some African slum. We saved you. Amara tasted blood. But she wasn't crying. She was done crying. Get back to work, Robert said. And if you ever touch me again, I'll make sure you regret it. Amara went downstairs. Sat on her bed. Stared at the wall she'd been staring at for 730 days. She couldn't keep counting anymore. Couldn't keep hoping for rescue. Couldn't keep being the good girl who followed the rules. Something had to change. Something had to break. And if it was going to be her or them, she'd make damn sure it was them. The lock on Amara's door had an outside bolt. But Connor had learned how to pick it. 3 nights after the confrontation he slipped in with something wrapped in a towel. What is this? A phone? Old one. My dad was going to throw it away. Amara's hands shook taking it. Connor, if they find out they won't. I charged it. The password is 1234. Why are you doing this? Because someone has to. He looked at her with eyes too old for 13. You need help. Real help. After he left, Amara stared at the phone for an hour. Who could she call? She didn't know anyone in America. Didn't know any numbers. Didn't even know her own address. She hid it in the bathroom ceiling. Just having it felt dangerous. But also like breathing for the first time in years. A week later, Robert hosted a business meeting at the house. Amara served coffee. Pretended to be invisible like always. But one man kept looking at her differently. Not the way Robert looked. Something else. "Thank you," he said when she refilled his cup. Like she was a person. "You're welcome." After the meeting he lingered in the kitchen. "What's your name?" She hesitated. "Amara." "I'm James." He extended his hand. She stared at it. Nobody had offered to shake her hand in 3 years. "I can't." "Why not?" "I just can't." He lowered his hand. "Are you okay?" The question was so unexpected she almost laughed. "I'm fine." "You don't look fine." "I have to get back to work." She left before he could ask more questions. But his face stayed with her. The genuine concern. The way he'd treated her like a human being. James started finding excuses to visit. Forgot paperwork. Needed to discuss some deal with Robert. Each time he managed a few words with Amara. "How long have you worked here?" 3 years. "Do you get days off?" Number. "That doesn't seem right." She didn't respond. What could she say that nothing about this was right? One afternoon he came when the Morrisons were out. Connor answered the door. "They're not home." "I know." James looked past him. "Is Amara here?" Connor studied him. "Why? I want to talk to her." "About what?" "That's between me and her." Connor let him in. Called for Amara. She came up from the basement confused. "What are you doing here?" "I needed to talk to you." "Alone." "That's not a good idea." "Please." 5 minutes. Connor disappeared upstairs. James turned to her. "I know what's happening." Her stomach dropped. "You don't know anything. Robert's my business partner. I've known him 15 years. I know what kind of man he is." "Then you should leave." "I want to help you." "Why?" "Because I have a daughter your age. And if someone was treating her the way they treat you." His voice broke. "I couldn't live with myself if I did nothing." Amara wanted to believe him. Wanted it so badly it hurt. "You can't help me." "I can try." He pulled out a phone. "It's a burner. My number's already programmed. If you need anything. If they hurt you. Call me. They'll find it. Then hide it well." She took the phone. Their fingers touched. The contact sent electricity through her. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." He headed for the door. Stopped. "You don't deserve this. Whatever they told you. You don't deserve any of it." After he left, Amara stood in the kitchen holding 2 phones now. 2 lifelines. 2 possibilities. James started texting her. Late at night when the house was quiet. "Are you okay?" "Yes." "Did they hurt you today?" Number. "I'm going to get you out." "I promise." She wanted to believe him. But she'd believed promises before. Still the texts became her anchor. Knowing someone out there cared. Someone saw her. A month in, James came by with something in a bag. "What's this?" "Vitamins. Protein bars." "You're too thin." "I can't take these." "Yes you can. Hide them." "Why are you doing this?" "I told you." "Because it's the right thing." But his eyes said something else. Something more complicated. The first time he hugged her, Amara broke. She'd been holding herself together for so long. His arms were safe. Warm. Human. She cried into his shoulder while he held her. "It's okay. You're going to be okay." "I'm not. I'm never getting out." "Yes you are. I'm working on it. I have lawyers looking at your contract. They'll never let me go. They don't have a choice. What they're doing is illegal." Hope felt dangerous. But she let herself feel it anyway. The hug became a kiss. Amara didn't know who started it. Didn't care. For 5 minutes she wasn't a slave. She was a woman. Wanted. Chosen. Alive. When they pulled apart, James looked shaken. "I shouldn't have done that." "I know. I'm married. Separated but married. I know. This is complicated. Everything about my life is complicated." He laughed. It was a sad sound. "I'm going to help you. But we need to be careful." "Okay." But careful went out the window fast. James rented a small apartment in the city. Once a week he'd tell Robert he needed Amara for errands. Robert agreed. Later Amara would learn he'd paid them. In that apartment Amara remembered what it felt like to be human. James was gentle. Patient. Asked what she wanted. Nobody had asked her that in years. "What do you want to do when you get out?" "I don't know anymore. I used to want to be a nurse." "You still can." "I'm 22 and I've lost 3 years. I don't even know if my family's alive." "We'll find them. I promise." More promises. But these ones she wanted to believe. The sex was different than with Robert. Consensual. Tender. Afterward, James held her and talked about his daughter. His failed marriage. His regrets. I should have left my wife years ago. Why didn't you? Fear. Habit. Take your pick. I understand fear. I know you do. He kissed her forehead. But you're the bravest person I've ever met. She wasn't brave. She was surviving. There was a difference. 3 months into whatever they were doing, someone saw James's car near the apartment. Small town. Big mouths. The gossip started. James Whitmore's having an affair. With who? That Morrison girl. The African one. The story twisted as it spread. Amara became the seductress. The homewrecker. The immigrant gold digger who'd set her sights on a vulnerable divorced man. Nobody asked how a woman with no phone, no money, no freedom could seduce anyone. Nobody cared about that part. James's ex-wife Patricia heard. She called Amara every name in the book on Facebook. Posted photos of James with their daughter. Painted Amara as a home-destroying witch. The comments were vicious. These immigrants come here and destroy families. She's after his money, obviously. Send her back where she came from. Amara read them on Connor's phone. Each one a knife. Diane found out from a friend at church. She came down to the basement shaking with rage. You've embarrassed us. I didn't. The entire town is talking. About you. About our household. Do you know what you've done? I haven't done anything wrong. You're sleeping with my husband's business partner. He's helping me. He's using you. And you're too stupid to see it. That's not true. Diane grabbed Amara's arm. Dragged her upstairs. Robert was waiting in the kitchen. Explain yourself. There's nothing to explain. You're having an affair with James Whitmore. Yes. Robert's face went dark. After everything we've done for you. Done for me, you've kept me prisoner for 3 years. His hand came out of nowhere. Slapped her so hard she tasted blood. Don't you dare. We gave you everything. A home. Food. Purpose. You gave me hell. He hit her again. Diane didn't stop him. Just watched. You're staying in the basement for a week. No food. Maybe that will teach you gratitude. They locked her in. Amara sat in the dark. Her face throbbed. Her stomach was already empty. But worse than the physical pain was the realization. James wasn't coming to save her. This fantasy she'd built where he'd whisk her away and fix everything. It was just that. Fantasy. 3 days into her imprisonment, Connor slipped her a granola bar and water. I'm sorry. Not your fault. Mom called immigration. She said if you don't behave she'll have you deported. Amara's heart stopped. When I don't know. But I heard her on the phone. After he left, Amara used James's phone. Her hands shook so badly she could barely type. They're going to deport me. I need help. Hours passed. No response. She tried calling. Voicemail. James, please. I need you. Nothing. By day 5 she understood. He'd abandoned her. Whatever they had, whatever she thought they had, it was over. Diane let her out on day 7. Have you learned your lesson? Yes, ma'am. Good. Get back to work. That night Amara tried James's number again. Disconnected. She tried texting. Blocked. He was gone. Linda Chen appeared at the fence while Amara was taking out trash. Honey, are you okay? I heard about. I'm fine. You're not fine. Let me help you. Nobody can help me. There are organizations. Lawyers. People who Mrs. Chen, please. Don't. Linda's face crumpled. I can't just watch this. You have to. Why? Because if you get involved they'll hurt you too. Just stay away. Amara went back inside before Linda could argue. That Sunday Amara tried to go to church. Needed to be around people. Needed to feel less alone. The moment she walked into the parking lot, Helen Warner and her friends descended. That's when it happened. The confrontation. The spit. The hatred. Amara drove away from that church and pulled over 3 blocks later. Sat in the car she'd borrowed without permission. Thought about driving and never coming back. But where would she go? She was illegal. No papers. No money. And now the whole town hated her. She went back to the basement. Looked at herself in the cracked mirror. 22 years old, but she looked 40. Hollow eyes. Scarred soul. Nothing left. Except rage. Pure burning rage. They'd taken everything. Her freedom. Her body. Her dignity. Her reputation. Now they wanted her silence too. She thought about Fatu. About her mother. About the girl who got on that plane believing in dreams. That girl was dead. But something else had been born in her place. Something harder. Something that refused to die quietly. Amara pulled out Connor's phone. Googled legal aid organizations, immigration lawyers, trafficking hotlines. Started making calls. If they wanted a war, she'd give them one. The first lawyer she reached was Maria Santos. Tell me everything. Amara did. 3 years of hell poured out in 20 minutes. When she finished, Maria was quiet for a long moment. What they did to you is human trafficking. Federal crime. You have rights. I'm illegal. Doesn't matter. Trafficking victims can get special visas. But I need evidence. Can you get proof of what your living conditions? The debt they claim you owe. Proof you can't leave. And anything about the sexual assaults. Amara's throat closed. How photos? Documents? Recordings if possible. Can you do that? She thought about the phones hidden in her room. About Connor who'd risk everything to help. Yes. Then we fight. But you need to understand something. This will get ugly. They'll attack you. Your reputation. Everything. They already did. It'll get worse. I don't care anymore. Good. Maria's voice softened. Because we're going to destroy them. After the call, Amara sat in the darkness. For the first time in 3 years, she felt something other than fear. She felt power. They called her a homewrecker. Let them. She'd wreck more than homes before this was done. She'd wreck their lies, their respectability, their perfect suburban facade. She'd burn it all down. And rise from the ashes. Gathering evidence was harder than Maria made it sound. Amara waited until everyone slept, then used Connor's phone to photograph everything. The lock on her door. The tiny room. The contract with its impossible numbers. Her hands shook so badly the first photos came out blurred. She deleted them. Tried again. What are you doing? She jumped. Connor stood in the doorway. Nothing. You're taking pictures. Go back to bed. He came in instead. Closed the door. Let me help. You've done enough. I haven't done anything. Not really. He took the phone. What do you need? Everything. The locks. The basement. Any papers showing the debt? Connor nodded. Over the next week he became her accomplice. He'd sneak into Robert's office. Photograph documents. Forward them to Maria's email. My dad keeps everything in his filing cabinet, Connor whispered one night. 3rd drawer. There's a folder with your name. Can you get it? He locks it. Can you pick the lock? Connor grinned. It was the first time she'd seen him smile in months. I can try. 2 days later he brought her copies. Amara's hands trembled reading them. The original contract from Grace. Debt calculations that made no sense. Notes in Robert's handwriting about maintaining control and immigration threats. This is it, she breathed. This is everything. What happens now? Now we fight. But fighting meant risk. Maria scheduled a meeting at her office. Amara had to lie to get out of the house. I need to go to the clinic. Women's health. Diane's face twisted. What's wrong with you? Personal issue. You better not be pregnant. I'm not. You better not be. We can't afford another mouth to feed. The irony would have been funny if it wasn't so cruel. Linda Chen drove her. She'd been waiting for weeks for Amara to ask for help. Thank you for this. Don't thank me yet. Linda's hands were tight on the wheel. Are you sure about this? Once you start, there's no going back. There's no going back anyway. Maria's office was small but clean. She greeted Amara with a hug that made her want to cry. You're safe here. Okay, nothing you say leaves this room. Amara nodded. Couldn't speak. Show me what you have. The evidence spilled across Maria's desk. Photos. Documents. Connor's recordings of Robert yelling. Diane's threats. Everything. Maria's face got harder with each piece. This is good. Really good. But we need more. More testimony. Someone who's witnessed the abuse. Someone credible. Connor. He's 13. Defense will tear him apart. Anyone else? Amara thought. Linda Chen. My neighbor. She's seen things. I'll talk to her. Maria leaned forward. But Amara, I need to prepare you. The Morrisons will fight dirty. They'll bring up James. Make you look like a gold digger. A homewrecker. Everything you're afraid of. I know. They'll try to discredit you. Say you're lying for money. Let them. And the trial will be public. Your name. Your face. Your story. Everyone will know. Amara's chest tightened. I don't care anymore. You say that now, I mean it. Her voice came out stronger than she felt. They already destroyed my reputation. What else can they take? Maria studied her. Your freedom. If this goes wrong, they could have you deported before you ever see justice. Then we don't let it go wrong. Maria smiled. It was fierce. No, we don't. The next step was confronting the Morrisons directly. Maria arranged a meeting, brought Amara, laid the evidence on their kitchen table. Robert's face went white. Diane's went red. This is ridiculous, Robert said. She's making it all up. Really? Maria pulled out photos. These are fake. She could have taken those anytime. And these documents from your filing cabinet, did she fake those too? Diane stood up. Get out of my house. Sit down, Mrs. Morrison. We're not done. Maria's voice could cut glass. My client is prepared to file federal charges. Human trafficking, forced labor, sexual assault, unlawful imprisonment. The FBI takes these cases very seriously. She's illegal. Diane shouted. Nobody will believe her. Actually, trafficking victims are eligible for special visas. And federal prosecutors don't care about immigration status when going after traffickers. Robert tried a different tactic. How much does she want? Excuse me, money. That's what this is about. How much to make this go away? Maria's laugh was cold. You think this is about money? Everything's about money. My client wants her freedom, her passport, and $150,000 in back wages. Plus damages. That's insane. That's minimum wage for 3.5 years of work. 18 hours a day. No days off. Actually, you got a discount. The room went silent. Amara sat watching them squirm. Felt nothing but satisfaction. We could bury you in legal fees, Maria continued. Drag this through courts for years. Or we could settle this quietly. Your choice. Robert and Diane exchanged looks. Calculating. Weighing options. We need time to think, Robert said finally. You have 48 hours. After that we file. Maria stood. Amara followed. As they reached the door, Diane's voice cut through. You'll regret this. Both of you. Amara turned. Looked at the woman who'd made her life hell for 3 years. The only thing I regret is not doing this sooner. Outside, Amara's legs gave out. She sat on the curb shaking. You okay? I think I'm going to throw up. That's normal. Adrenaline. Maria sat beside her. You did great in there. I didn't do anything. You did everything. No. You showed up. That took more courage than you know. Word spread fast. Small town. Big mouths. By the next day, everyone knew Amara was taking legal action against the Morrisons. The responses were mixed and ugly. Some people called her brave. Most called her a liar. Social media exploded. She's just after money. Typical immigrant scam. The Morrisons are good people. This girl is delusional. But some voices were different. I always thought something was off about that house. She worked there for years and never had a day off. That's not normal. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Patricia Whitmore, James's ex-wife, was the loudest critic. She took out an ad in the local paper painting Amara as a con artist who'd destroyed her marriage and was now destroying the Morrisons. The article went viral. Comments poured in. Death threats started. Go back to Africa. We should lynch Homewrecker like in the old days. Someone needs to shut this bitch up permanently. Maria filed for a restraining order against the worst offenders. But the damage was done. Amara couldn't leave Linda's house without being harassed. Someone spray painted whore on the driveway. Broke a window. Left a dead rat on the porch. I'm so sorry, Amara said through tears. This is my fault. This is not your fault. Linda held her. This is people showing who they really are. You should kick me out. Not a chance. But the pressure was mounting. Maria's office was vandalized. Her tires slashed. She hired security. They're trying to scare us into dropping this. Is it working? Hell no. Now I'm pissed. Then James reached out. After months of silence, a text appeared. I heard about the lawsuit. I want to help. Amara stared at the message. Wanted to throw the phone. Wanted to cry. Wanted to scream. Don't respond, Linda said. He had his chance. But Maria thought differently. We could use his testimony. He's respected. White. Male. Exactly what a jury wants to hear. I don't want his help. I understand. But this isn't about what you want. It's about what you need to win. Amara met James at a coffee shop. Maria insisted on coming. James looked terrible. Thinner. Older. Haunted. I'm sorry. For everything. For leaving when you needed me. Okay. I was a coward. My ex-wife threatened to take my daughter if I didn't cut ties with you. I chose wrong. You chose yourself. That's normal. It's not okay. I didn't say it was okay. I said it's normal. Amara kept her voice flat. Wouldn't give him her emotion. What do you want to help? I'll testify. Tell them everything I know about Robert. About the trafficking. About how they treated you. Why now? Because I have to live with myself. And right now I can't. Maria interjected. Can you testify that Robert Morrison knew what was happening, that he participated? Yes. He bragged about it once. Said he'd found the perfect system. Cheap labor. No complaining. No unions. He said that in front of you more than once. He thought it was funny. Maria smiled. That's exactly what we need. But Amara wasn't smiling. She looked at James and felt nothing. Not anger. Not love. Not even disappointment. Just emptiness. If you testify, Patricia will come after you. I know. The town will turn on you. I don't care. You should. Because unlike me, you have a choice. You can walk away. Keep your reputation. Your business. Your daughter. And live knowing I let them destroy you. Number. James reached across the table. She pulled her hand back. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness. I'm not asking for it. I'm just asking for a chance to do the right thing. Little late for that. I know. Amara stood. Talk to Maria. Work out the details. But don't expect anything from me. We're done. Amara, we're done. She walked out before he could respond. The Morrisons' response came 2 days later. Not a settlement. A countersuit. They were suing Amara for theft, defamation, and breach of contract. Can they do that? Amara's voice shook. They can try. Maria scanned the documents. It's a pressure tactic. They're hoping you'll get scared and drop your case. Will it work? That depends. Are you scared? Amara thought about the basement. The locked doors. Robert's hands. 3 years of hell. Terrified. But not enough to stop. Good. Because this is about to get brutal. The deposition started. Lawyers from both sides asking the same questions 100 different ways. How many times did Robert Morrison assault you? I stopped counting after 60. Why didn't you leave? I had no passport. No money. No phone. The doors were locked. Where exactly was I supposed to go? You could have called the police. I was illegal. If I called the police, they'd deport me. So you never tried to escape. I tried to survive. There's a difference. Robert's lawyer was vicious. A man named Kenneth Harris who looked at Amara like she was trash. You had an affair with James Whitmore. Yes. While employed by my clients. While imprisoned by your clients. You seduced a married man. He approached me. I was desperate for kindness. So desperate you slept with him. So desperate I accepted the only affection anyone had shown me in 3 years. Yes. Sounds like prostitution. Maria objected loudly. Counselor, that's completely inappropriate. Withdrawn. But Kenneth smiled. He'd made his point. The deposition lasted 6 hours. When it ended, Amara was shaking. Maria took her home. You did good. I feel like garbage. That's what they want. They want you to feel too broken to fight. Maria squeezed her hand. Don't let them win. Connor's deposition was worse. Robert and Diane refused to let him testify at first. Said he was being manipulated. Maria got a court order. Connor sat in that chair looking terrified but determined. Did you witness abuse in your home? Yes. What did you see? My father hurt Amara. Many times. My mother knew and didn't stop it. Can you be specific? Connor's voice cracked. I saw bruises. Heard crying. Once I saw my father in her room late at night. She was bleeding. Why didn't you tell anyone? I was scared. They're my parents. I didn't know what to do. What changed? I realized being scared isn't an excuse. Not when someone's suffering. Diane started crying loudly. Robert put his arm around her. Playing the devastated parents. Kenneth went after Connor hard. Isn't it true you have behavioral issues? I've been in therapy. Yes. For what? Depression. Anxiety. Because of what I saw happening in my house. Or because you have a troubled relationship with your parents and you're acting out. Number. You're only 13. You might not understand what you saw. I understand perfectly. Connor's voice got stronger. I understand my parents kept a woman prisoner. I understand they hurt her. And I understand that defending them makes me part of it. That's why I'm here. After his testimony, Connor came to find Amara. She hugged him tight. You didn't have to do that. Yes, I did. Your parents will never forgive you. Good. I don't want their forgiveness. He pulled back, looked at her with wet eyes. You were the only kind person in that house. You treated me like I mattered. I'm just sorry it took me so long to help. You were a kid. I'm still a kid. But at least now I'm doing something. The preliminary hearing set the trial date. 3 months away. 3 months of living in limbo. 3 months of waiting for her life to finally change. During that time, strange things started happening. People Amara had never met reached out. I worked for a family like that once. They destroyed me too. Thank you for speaking up. You're braver than you know. My daughter was trafficked. Your story gives me hope. A journalist named Sarah Mitchell wrote a long article. The Woman They Called a Homewrecker, a story of modern slavery in Connecticut. The article went viral. Suddenly national news picked it up. Amara's face was everywhere. The narrative shifted. Not completely, but enough. How did we not see this? What else is happening in our neighborhoods? We failed this woman. Diane Morrison's church asked her to step down from the hospitality committee. Robert's business partner dropped him. Their daughter Ashley stopped speaking to them. They were being destroyed socially. It should have felt good. Instead, Amara just felt tired. The night before the trial, Maria came over with takeout. How are you feeling? Numb. That's normal. Is it? You're about to face your abusers in court. In front of the world. It's okay to be scared. I'm not scared. Amara pushed food around her plate. I'm just done. Whatever happens tomorrow, at least it'll be over. It won't be over. Not really. Trauma doesn't end with a verdict. But the fighting does. Maria nodded. The fighting ends. Finally. They sat in silence for a while. Then Amara said, what if we lose? We won't. But if we do, then we appeal. And we keep fighting. But Amara listened to me. Maria waited until she looked up. You've already won. You got out. You told your story. You stood up. That's winning. Doesn't feel like it. It will. Eventually. That night Amara couldn't sleep. She lay in bed at Linda's house thinking about tomorrow. About facing Robert and Diane. About telling a room full of strangers what they did to her. About becoming public property. The victim everyone would talk about. The homewrecker. The trafficking survivor. The symbol. She didn't want to be a symbol. She just wanted to be free. Her phone buzzed. Connor. Good luck tomorrow. You've got this. Then Linda knocked softly. Came in with tea. Can't sleep number. Me neither. Linda sat on the bed. You know, when I came to America I was alone too. I worked for a family that treated me like furniture. It was 30 years ago. Nobody talked about trafficking then. I just thought that's how it was. Did you ever tell anyone number? I was too ashamed. Thought it was my fault somehow. Linda took Amara's hand. You're doing what I couldn't. And I'm so proud of you. I'm terrified. Good. Means you're human. Linda smiled. But you're also the strongest person I know. And tomorrow you're going to walk into that courtroom and you're going to tell the truth. And the truth is going to set you free. Amara wanted to believe her. Chose to believe her. Because the alternative was giving up. And she'd come too far for that. The courthouse steps were crowded. Protesters on both sides. Some held signs saying justice for Amara. Others said deport the homewrecker. Amara walked between Maria and Linda. Cameras flashed. People shouted. She kept her eyes forward. How does it feel to destroy a family? Are you just after money? Amara, tell us your side. She didn't respond. Couldn't. Her throat was too tight. Inside the courtroom was packed. Amara saw Robert and Diane at the defense table. They wouldn't look at her. Good. She didn't want to see their faces. Connor sat in the gallery. He waved. She almost cried. The judge entered. Everyone stood. The trial began. The prosecutor went first. Rachel Torres. Sharp. No nonsense. She laid out the case methodically. Showed photos of the basement. The locks. The contract with its impossible math. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an employment dispute. This is slavery. Modern slavery happening in our backyard while we looked away. Kenneth Harris objected 3 times in the opening statement alone. The judge overruled him each time. Then it was Amara's turn to testify. Walking to that witness stand felt like walking to execution. Every eye in the room on her. Judging, measuring, deciding if she was telling the truth. Rachel's voice was gentle. Please state your name. Amara Karoma. How old are you? 23. And how did you come to America? Amara took a breath. Started talking. Told them about Grace. About the promises. About landing at JFK and realizing she'd been sold. What happened when you arrived at the Morrison house? They locked me in the basement. Took my passport. Told me I owed them money I could never pay back. How much money? They said $60,000 by the end. But it started at 45. How could a debt grow like that? They charged me for everything. Food, water, the room. Things that should have been free if I was actually an employee. Were you paid? Number. Not once in 3.5 years, not once. The jury shifted, whispered. The judge called for silence. Rachel continued. Tell us about Robert Morrison. Amara's hands clenched. He came to my room. Regularly. He said if I didn't cooperate he'd have me deported. How many times did this happen? I stopped counting after the first few months. More than 50. Maybe more than 100. Someone in the gallery gasped. Diane Morrison's face went white. Did you ever tell anyone? Who could I tell? I had no phone. No friends. No way to contact anyone. And I was illegal. If I went to the police I thought they'd arrest me. Did Mrs. Morrison know about the assaults? Yes. How do you know? Because once she walked past the door while it was happening. She heard me crying. She kept walking. Diane stood up. That's a lie. The judge banged his gavel. Mrs. Morrison, sit down. Kenneth Harris was on his feet. Objection. Speculation. I'm not speculating. Amara looked directly at Diane. You knew. You heard. You chose to do nothing. The judge sustained the objection, but the damage was done. The jury had heard it. Rachel asked more questions. About the locked doors. The surveillance. The threats. By the time she finished Amara was shaking, but she'd said everything. Kenneth Harris approached for cross-examination. His smile was predatory. Ms. Karoma, you had an affair with James Whitmore. Correct? Yes. While living with the Morrisons. While being held prisoner by the Morrisons. You seduced a married man. He approached me. I was desperate. Desperate enough to sleep with him, desperate enough to accept kindness from anyone who offered it. Kenneth paced. You claim you were locked in. But you left the house for this affair. Doesn't that prove you could leave anytime? He paid them. I found out later. He paid them to let me out for a few hours. You have proof of this? Ask him. He'll tell you. How convenient. Kenneth's voice dripped sarcasm. You also claim you never tried to escape. Why not? I tried to survive. There's a difference. You could have run away. And gone where I had no money. No papers. No idea where I was. Do you know what happens to illegal immigrants who run? They get caught. Detained. Deported. And then what would happen to my family? Your family in Sierra Leone? Yes. The family you abandoned to come to America? Amara's hands shook. I didn't abandon them. I was trying to help them. By sleeping with married men. Maria objected. Your Honor, he's badgering the witness. Sustained. Mr. Harris, move on. But Kenneth kept pushing. Asked about every decision she'd made. Every choice. Tried to paint her as a liar. A manipulator. A woman who'd destroy anyone to get what she wanted. Isn't it true you're only doing this for money? No. You're asking for $150,000. That's what I earned. Minimum wage. 3.5 years. Do the math. Or you could just be a gold digger who saw an opportunity. Amara's voice rose. I saw an opportunity. I was 19 years old. I was trafficked. I was raped. I was imprisoned. What opportunity is there in that? You tell me. You're the one suing. I'm suing because they destroyed me. Because they took everything. Because they need to pay for what they did. Or because you're broke and desperate and you found a way to make money by destroying a respectable family. Respectable? Amara laughed. It sounded broken. They kept me in a basement. They starved me. They used me. That's not respectable. That's evil. Kenneth opened his mouth. Closed it. Sat down. Amara left the stand. Her legs barely held her. Linda grabbed her hand in the gallery. Squeezed tight. James testified next. Amara hadn't expected what he'd say. I've known Robert Morrison for 15 years. I've done business with him. Socialized with him. And I've heard him brag about his system. What system? Rachel asked. He said he'd figured out how to get cheap labor. Bring over desperate immigrants. Promise them papers. Keep them trapped with debt. Use immigration threats to control them. He said this to you multiple times. He thought it was brilliant. Said I should try it. The courtroom erupted. Robert's lawyer objected loudly. But the words were out. James continued. I'm ashamed I didn't report it. I'm ashamed I didn't help Amara sooner. But I'm here now because I can't live with myself otherwise. Why did you help her? Because I have a daughter. And if someone was doing to her what Robert did to Amara, I'd want someone to help. What about your relationship with Ms. Karoma? James looked at Amara. I took advantage of someone who was desperate. I told myself I was helping. But really I was using her. Just like Robert. Maybe not as violent. But still wrong. After James Connor testified again. This time in front of a jury. His voice shook but held. My father is not a good man. I know that now. And pretending otherwise makes me part of the problem. Diane sobbed through his entire testimony. Connor didn't look at her once. The trial lasted 4 days. Expert witnesses. Character witnesses. People who'd seen Amara working. People who'd known the Morrisons for years. The jury deliberated for 6 hours. Amara sat in a back room unable to breathe. What if we lose? We won't, Maria said. You don't know that. I know we did everything right. The rest is up to them. The bailiff knocked. Jury's back. Walking into that courtroom again felt like drowning. Everyone stood as the jury filed in. None of them looked at the defense table. That was a good sign. Maybe. Has the jury reached a verdict? We have, Your Honor. On the charge of human trafficking, how do you find guilty? The word echoed. Amara's vision blurred. On the charge of forced labor, guilty. On the charge of unlawful imprisonment, guilty. On the charge of sexual assault, guilty. Diane Morrison collapsed. Robert sat frozen. The gallery erupted in cheers and boos. Amara just sat there, numb. She'd won. After everything. She'd actually won. Maria hugged her tight. You did it. You actually did it. We did it. No. This was you. All you. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. Robert got 15 years. Diane got 8. It wasn't enough. Could never be enough. But it was something. The civil case settled out of court. $400,000. More than Maria asked for. The Morrisons' lawyers wanted to avoid another trial. Amara signed the papers with shaking hands. What now? She asked Maria. Now you live. Really live. With the settlement money, Amara did something she'd been afraid to do for 4 years. She hired an investigator to find her family. 3 weeks later, the investigator called. I found them. Your mother. Your sister. Your brothers. They're alive. Amara couldn't speak. Just cried. There's something else. They were told you died. The trafficking organization told them you were killed in a car accident 3 years ago. Her stomach dropped. They think I'm dead. They've been mourning you. I can arrange a call if you want. Yes. Please. Yes. The video call was set for the next day. Amara couldn't sleep. Couldn't eat. Just paced Linda's living room. When her mother's face appeared on screen, Amara broke completely. Mama. Her mother's hand flew to her mouth. No. No. You're dead. They told us I'm alive. Mama, I'm alive. Amara, my baby girl. They both sobbed. Couldn't form words. Just cried and stared at each other. Fatu appeared on screen. Older now. 21. Sister Fatu. Oh God, Fatu. We buried you. We had a funeral. We mourned. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Where were you? What happened? Amara told them everything. Her mother listened without interrupting. When she finished, her mother's face was wet with tears. You survived. That's all that matters. You survived and you came back to us. I'm going to bring you here. All of you. Legally. The right way. To America, yes. If you want. Her mother laughed through tears. I want to hold you. I want to see you. I want to know you're real. It took 6 months to process the visas. 6 months of paperwork and waiting and hoping. Finally the day came. Amara stood at the airport. Linda beside her. Maria too. They'd both become family. When her mother walked through arrivals, Amara ran. They collided in the middle of the terminal. Held each other. Both crying so hard they couldn't breathe. "You're really here," Amara kept saying. "You're really here." Fatu wrapped around both of them. Then her brothers. All 5 of them standing there crying and laughing and holding on. "Welcome to America," Linda said quietly. "The real America. Not the one that hurt you. The one that heals." The first year was hard. Her family had to adjust. Learn English. Find jobs. Process what had happened to Amara. But they were together. That was enough. Amara enrolled in community college. Started studying social work. Wanted to help others like her. She worked with Maria's nonprofit. Held hands with other survivors. Told them, "You can survive this." "I did. You will too." She spoke at schools, churches, community centers. Always the same message. If you see someone who seems trapped, who never speaks, who looks afraid, ask questions. Don't look away. I was invisible for 3.5 years because people chose not to see. Connor visited sometimes. He'd cut off his parents completely. Was in therapy. Trying to process his childhood. "Do you hate them?" Amara asked once. "I don't know. Sometimes. Mostly I just feel sad. They could have been good people. They chose not to be." "That's very mature. I learned from you." James sent letters sometimes. Apologies. Updates on his life. Amara read them but never responded. Some doors needed to stay closed. Patricia Whitmore eventually apologized publicly. Wrote an op-ed about her own complicity in victim blaming. It was too little too late, but Amara appreciated the gesture. The town slowly changed. People who'd called her a homewrecker now called her brave. It felt hollow, but she accepted it. 5 years after the trial, Robert was released early on good behavior. Amara got the notification and her hands shook for days. "You don't have to see him," Maria said. "I know. But you want to." "I need to." She attended his parole hearing. Sat in the back. Robert made his statement. "I'm a changed man. I found God in prison. I deeply regret my actions." Amara's turn to speak. She stood. Robert saw her. His face went white. "You didn't regret your actions. You regretted getting caught." Her voice was steady. Strong. "You took 3.5 years of my life. You tried to take everything. But you failed. Ms. Karoma, I'm sorry. I don't want your apology. I don't want anything from you. I just want you to know that I won. I survived. I rebuilt. I'm free. Really free. And you," she smiled. "You'll carry what you did to me forever. That's your real prison." She walked out before he could respond. Diane wrote from prison. A long letter full of justifications and excuses and minimal accountability. Amara wrote back one sentence. "I don't forgive you. But I don't hate you either. And that's enough." She never heard from Diane again. At 30, Amara had a master's degree. Ran a nonprofit helping trafficking survivors. Lived in a small house with her mother and sister. Still went to therapy. Still had nightmares sometimes. But she also had good days. Days where she laughed. Days where she felt light. Days where the past felt far away. She was in her backyard one evening planting tomatoes when her phone rang. Another survivor needing help. "I don't know what to do. I'm trapped." Amara talked to her for 3 hours. Walked her through every step. Connected her with Maria. With resources. With hope. "You can survive this," she said. "I did. You will too." After the call, she sat in her garden. Her mother brought tea. They sat together in silence. "Are you happy?" her mother asked. Amara thought about it. Really thought about it. "I'm free. That's better than happy." "Is it?" "Yes. Because happy comes and goes. But freedom, once you have it, really have it, nothing can take it away." Her mother nodded. "I'm proud of you. Your father would be too. I wish he could have seen it. He sees. I know he does." That night Amara couldn't sleep. She thought about that girl who landed at JFK 11 years ago. Hopeful. Naive. Destroyed before she even knew what was happening. She thought about the woman in the basement. Broken. Afraid. Convinced she'd die there. She thought about the fighter who stood in that courtroom. Who spoke her truth. Who refused to stay silent. All of them were her. All of them led to this moment. Sitting in her own house. In her own bed. Making her own choices. Free. They'd called her a homewrecker. Fine. She'd wrecked more than homes. She'd wrecked their lies. Their system. Their belief that they could own people and get away with it. She'd burned it all down and risen from the ashes. And now she spent every day pulling others from the flames. That was purpose. That was meaning. That was enough. The past would always be there. Some scars never fully healed. But they also reminded her how far she'd traveled. How much she'd survived. How strong she'd become. She wasn't the girl from Sierra Leone anymore. She wasn't the slave in the basement. She wasn't even the victim in the courtroom. She was Amara. Survivor. Fighter. Free woman. And nobody could ever take that away again.